All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Hey, Carlos. I'm excited. Look, it's finally here. The big Fed rate announcement day is upon us. I do feel like it's Christmas. We're going to see what happens today because it should be interesting. I hope it's interesting. I mean, after all this buildup, if like nothing happens, everybody's going to be very disappointed in me, I feel. I mean, it's not my responsibility. Oh, look at this. I love the graphic. Wait. Why is he giving a thumbs down already? What was happening? No, you should be undecided at this point. Anyways, so we are going to come back to you live. So we got our normal schedule this morning, just for everybody's awareness. We are, going to go through. We'll set the market up for you. We'll do our live trading in the morning. We'll be back though at 1:45 this afternoon, getting ready for the automatic announcement at 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's market time. And then 2:30 is when the press conference starts, which is when the fun could happen, because we'll see what comments cause some market reaction. It should be interesting. Anyways, this afternoon should be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Right this morning, we do have some economic data. We did have the housing starts and building permits that came out, but nobody cares. No, I'm kidding. I mean, the market, whatever. It doesn't usually react to this stuff. They came out more or less in line. You can see the numbers here. They're close enough that they're in line. Good, robust, actually, housing starts. I'm interested to see that the building permits were higher, which shows continued growth. So people are still buying and building houses in the U.S. anyways. So yeah, that's good news, I guess, for the economy. Usually the market doesn't like that type of news, but right now I think everybody's just, all they care about is what will the interest rate cut be? Quarter point? Half point? Well, those are really the only two options according to the analysts. Again, if the Fed comes out and does something, anything other than a quarter point or a half point cut, it's going to be pandemonium out there in the streets. But everybody expects one of those two. So we'll see. We'll all find out together. 2:00 sharp. Be here, and we'll talk to you about it. All right. In the meantime, we still have work to do here. Let's see what's happening in the markets. Let's see what we've got moving. I've got a couple of things to talk to you about that may not be on the gappers, but let's get her started.
Yeah, absolutely, friends. Guys, let's take a look at our gappers list. This morning, we have a couple of things in the green and some in the red today, and a lot of names that I'm not too familiar with. So there might be some not so great stocks making their way out here, but I'll tell you this. Today, my list is going to be made up of a lot of our usual suspects. I think that is where the action is going to go, especially at 2:00. It's like we're getting two market opens today, so we'll have some opportunities. And I'm with you, Peter. If they do no rate cuts, we're probably going to have the best day ever as far as day trading, because the moves are going to be insane in one direction, right? So that's pretty much very predictable if that takes place. So let's jump the boat on that. PRPTG is the first one out here. PRTG this morning, we're up 190%. So a nice gap up today. 7.2 million shares traded. The float on this bad boy is 670,000. So already, I don't like the float on this one. It is in play. Peter, the news on it today?
No idea. I mean, there must be some news. I don't see it. No analysts follow it. I don't know. It's a biotech, so presumably they had a new drug or phase 2 trials or FDA approval, or I don't know. I don't see any news. I'm not sure why it's moving.
Yeah, it's not a low flow, but it definitely actually it is a low flow at 670,000 shares traded. So if you want to play a low flow today, this could be it. It is heavily in play this morning. We can add it here on our risky pile. So I'm just going to put it PRTG. Again, entertainment purposes for me, really, for the most part. But let's see where it goes. Next is going to be LUNR, and we've seen. Oh, hold on a second. We'll fix that here. And LUNR. Here we go. There it is, Lunar. This is up 52%, 13 million shares traded. Did they land somewhere? What are they doing? So hard to borrow, very hard stock to trade. Did they land
Well,
straight up? This is one that tipped over, right? Is that what's
it
going on here?
is. It is, and it seems that failure did not daunt NASA of continuing to do business with them. They had an announcement late last night that they have received another 5-year addition to their contract, or a new contract maybe. But anyways, it's got a potential maximum value of 4.8 billion. So that's a big contract for my friends at Intuitive Machines. And yeah, I mean, they're going to build stronger legs that hold things up. We have to stop making fun of them for that, but it's fun. But anyways,
Yeah.
they look. I mean, hey, I couldn't land something on the moon, so they're doing better than me, anyways. But this one, I just find it fun, right? They I don't know when their next mission is actually, because that was really fun to watch this stock while the thing was trying to land, and then of course when it had its issues. But right now the news is about the contract. It's in play this morning. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it on my list for fun, but I it's unlikely I'll trade it.
Yeah. I'll keep it off mine for now. Let's look at NVVE this morning. So if we take a look at that one, NVVE. Today up 48%, 4.7 million shares traded. Also another low flow at under a million, 820,000. I'm seeing here. Hard to borrow on SSR. I mean, there's nothing pretty about it for the way I trade right now. Peter, anything good with Nuvo Holding? Looks like it's the name here.
Yeah, this seems to be one of these companies that they have a bunch of retail brands under this new. I don't even know how would you say that. Like, what happens when you put two V's together? New. I don't know. Anyways,
Noob.
yeah, they did have a 10-for-1 or a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. So that's probably why it's here, because of that reverse stock split. But that's not doesn't get me excited enough to trade it.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. I just quickly update the scanners here to show something a little more of what is actually happening. So I was a little excited when I saw the other list, but this is really what's going on, which makes a lot more sense, right? So PRTG was on there, LUNR was on there, NVVE is also on there. All low flows, by the way, except for LUNR. And then the next one on is going to be ISPC. There we go. So this is a much realistic scan of what's going on right now. Low flow, ISPC at 543,000. So again, very low flow stock this morning, moving up 8.3, 507. It just looks ugly. You could roll the truck on this thing. I want no parts of this one here. So get rid of that one.
It's another reverse stock split. They had a 1-for-20 reverse stock split 2 days ago. So that's why you can sort of see it moving. But yeah, not interesting.
Yeah. Let's head over to what else you got for gap up, if it's not on this list this morning, and then we'll look at the gap down.
A couple that are not gapping up much, but are in the green. Google in the news this morning. Whether they remember two tickers there, GOOG and GOOGL. You can watch either one. They overturned the EU court decision, or got overturned the decision made in 2019 that they had unfair advertising practices to their competition. They were assigned a $1.7 billion penalty, which has now been overturned. So, for them, that's little pocket change. So they get to keep their allowance for the week. So, anyways, but good news for Google. Microsoft is another one that had some interesting news. Microsoft is teaming up with BlackRock to set up a $100 billion AI investment fund. They're going to start with just $30 billion, so they hope to get from industry and investing partners. So Microsoft and BlackRock working together. Microsoft being such a big company, it's funny, when you get these two, like Google. For a lot of companies, not having to pay a $1.7 billion fine would be massive for Google. It literally is just pocket change. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Thanks. That's good. Good job, lawyers. Moving on. Microsoft setting up a $100 billion fund. Almost the same thing, right? Okay, that's nice. Good to go. Probably not going to massively move the stock, but there you have it. For the Apple was another one that I was watching. It's actually green in the pre-market for the first time in like 3 days. So maybe things are turning around for Apple. It did close. It was pretty choppy yesterday. Wasn't some great trading, but it's here green. And I'm not sure. There was news out of China. China's got a whole bunch of mixed, weird news going on. They had. There was rumors of another pandemic virus, but that seems to have been debunked. So that was fake news that was out yesterday morning. I didn't mention it, but it doesn't seem to be real. What is real is that the Chinese government announced that they have had some breakthroughs in semiconductors in their semiconductor industry, which means they can compete effectively with NVIDIA and others on AI chip design and manufacture. They already manufacture a lot, but on the chip design side, again, that's unconfirmed, but the Chinese government is claiming some victory there. I don't see it yet affecting any of the semis, really, that I can tell, but because I'm not sure what to do with that news, but it's out there. But what is happening is they've got a massive typhoon hitting mainland China, and Shanghai specifically is getting heavily impacted. Normally, apparently, typhoons don't hit Shanghai, but it is taking down. There's a holiday weekend coming up there, and they've already canceled like thousands of flights. This is the typhoon. It's got a weird name. It's at least an unfamiliar name to me. I've lost it here now. It was Bab. It starts with a B, and I can't remember what it's called. Babiki something. Anyways, you know how we normally name our tropical storms after like simple women's names. It wasn't baboon. It was Bibonic. Yeah, it started with B. That's all I remember. Anyways, but I was seeing pictures of it. It looks pretty bad. Anyways, and it's all through. This typhoon is again shutting everything down in Shanghai over the last 2 days, and is expected to continue for another couple of days. So pretty bad. Let's hope that there's not a lot of loss of life as a result of this storm. All right, so Carlos, that's what I had on the news side. I have a couple other things that are gapping down. We could talk about that in the gap down list, but there you go. Yeah. Bibinka. I don't even know how to say that. Thank you, Reb Free. Bibinka.
There you go. Friends, next on the gap down list is going to be GLMD this morning, down 30%, hard to borrow, 750,000 shares traded. Again, it's like low flow day. If you look at the hard gappers list today, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 of them are all low flow stocks, or maybe even more. So low flow data, another low flow sitting at 514,000. I'm not interested in a stock that has only 514,000 shares traded, so I won't be looking at that one. And then the next one too, Wheeler, which has been on our list almost every single day on the gappers list. Today here again, down 13%, 156,000. Peter, that doesn't look great either. So what do you have on your gappers list? I'm going to avoid those two unless you have any news on it. That's might be worth watching.
Well, yeah, let's talk to something you just mentioned. It's not a surprise that we only have low floats here, right? Because all of the larger offerings, right, especially the stuff we watch, the Magnificent Seven, the big stocks like Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA, they're not going to be moving much because if you've got deep pockets and a lot of money, you've already made your bet. You've staked your claim. You've set your position up. You're not going to be changing that before the Fed rate announcement. So all eyes are on 2:00. It only leaves, frankly, stuff that has the dumb money, as it's called, or frankly, the smaller investors that are going to play in it, which is the low floats, right? So again, I'm not surprised. It's not to say things are not going to move at all. We're going to get some movement in all of the typical stuff, but don't expect big moves. That would be my recommendation. Don't expect any big moves. And like Carlos said, essentially we get 2 opens today. We're going to have the open at 9:30, of course, but 2 o'clock is going to act almost like another open. We're going to see some volume flood in, and depending on that rate, that all important rate number, the second comes out, you know that every major investment house, all the big banks, all the big funds have got all of their computers programmed to if then scenarios, right? Depending on what the rate is, they're going to take action, whether it's buying or selling, and all of that is going to come into effect the second that rate comes out. So again, 2 o'clock should be interesting when we just watch. I'm gonna my approach. I'm gonna watch and wait, see what happens, and then if there's an opportunity, I can jump in and play it. We'll talk more about how to play that, or at least what we expect to see again this afternoon. We'll go live at around 1:45 for that rate announcement at 2. Carlos, so all that being said, the only thing I had on my gap down list was an actual earnings from this morning. General Mills, GIS. GIS is the ticker symbol on that. Not one that typically trades a lot of volume. It's down marginally this morning. They did beat their numbers, but they beat their numbers because they they didn't lose. Their sales didn't decrease as much as was expected. So, but still, their gross margins were down, which more than analysts were expecting. So that's sort of more or less what's bringing it down. I expect this thing to probably drop a little bit off the open. They still they've maintained their forecast. Their guidance is still, in line. So not much has changed with GIS, but they did have that earnings this morning. That's what I got.
All right, there you go, friends. All right, if you look at my list, I took one low float, which I'm probably not going to even trade because it has great volume. It is up 168%, but again, it won't really be something I'll be looking for this morning. So I'm just going to go to you guys, see what you guys have. I know I'm going to look at Tesla. I'm going to look at Apple. I'm obviously going to definitely look at NVIDIA today. My list is going to be made up a lot of the usual suspects. But before I start piling on those on the list there, what do you guys like this morning? We'll start with LUNR. I'm not a big fan of LUNR. I know Peter will be watching it. It's moving, man. It's cranking here. So it is in play. Maybe I'll put it as a possible, maybe. But I'm not a big fan of the way it trades. So just be careful on that one. But great volume, up 70%. I mean, I could be wrong. Today could be the day the way this thing is moving.
Well, yeah, especially with everything else waiting, right? It could be that LUNR, I mean, essentially it is a low float. It's not a low float, but it's going to trade like a low float because this is not where big money is parking. So yeah, it could move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Here, let's say La Dida. Is that your name, or I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly? But you're giving us I've never seen this ticker. Yeah, something like that. IQV. Oh, no. Your name is definitely better than this ticker. So we're going to give this ticker a nice garbage truck there. But it's not in play. I don't see no volume on it. So maybe you meant something else. So again, not sure what you're looking at on this one here. So we'll pass on that one. Let's see. Children's Place, PLCE. Are these guys bankrupt yet? No, they're still around. They're moving up here over the last couple of days. They're down 4.9 today, though. 84,000 shares traded. Not a whole lot of volume. The last couple of days, they've been doing very, very well as far as the daily goes. But again, it's a hit or miss. You kind of got to watch the stock and see where it goes from there. LUNR, no shortage with IB, no short inventory. Let's check. LUNR, no, hard to borrow. Yeah, so no shorts there. What else? Time for a pullback on Children's Place. You got to be careful with these stocks when they're that low. They're really unpredictable, but you are getting a pullback here after such a great run. I mean, this stock, guys, was at what, $5 just 5 days ago, sitting at 16. That is a big move over the last couple of days. So definitely in play today, maybe for another pullback here if it can make it, but just be careful. We did talk about Google. We're getting that from our good buddy Ross over in the chat. If we look at Google, yeah, this is great daily right now. Also, pre-market not showing that much volume. I will have this one on my secondary. I prefer some of the other Magnificent Seven. I think out of all the Magnificent Seven, this is probably the least of my favorites. This one and Meta are probably the least of my favorites, right? Actually, let's go through them. Apple will be on my list today. NVIDIA will be on here. Meta surprisingly has been doing all right. So the last couple of days intraday, we've been seeing some pretty good action out of this one, especially before yesterday. I think this was Monday, if I'm not mistaken. It had a really, really nice breakout above the VWAP, and look at the continuation here. So I'm hoping that one can get going. But Apple, Nvidia, and Meta will be on my list today. Google on the secondary for now. It's worth watching, obviously, and they got some news, as you mentioned, Peter, as well. But it needs more volume. It needs more volume. All right, over in our YouTube chat, Keith, you're giving us. Well, let's start with I missed one here. Abraham. You're giving us UPST. This was in play yesterday. Today, I'm not seeing much volume. It's a hit or miss. You just got to watch it through the market open, see if the volume comes in. But look at it yesterday, man. This thing did trade very well above the VWAP here. Nice run back to the VWAP and then another run again. So, yeah, it did have a great day, actually. Peter, did you watch this yesterday? I know we talked about it because it was in our gap up list. Did you keep it on your list?
It was there, but I did nothing with it because, frankly, I was mesmerized by the usual stuff. Right, I only had 2 trades
Yeah.
yesterday that we can talk about because, anyways. But I had 2 trades, and they were just on Tesla and AMD, so they moved well enough that I didn't need to trade something like Upstart.
Yeah, yeah. Let's take a look here at something like RYTM from our good buddy Keith over on YouTube. Oh no. I had a good day. Yes, as far as the daily goes. Intraday though, yeah, there's a truck coming in. Intraday, this is such light volume, man. This is literally 1.8 million shares traded. Now, if you never watch a stock with that light volume, it is very difficult. It might look good now, but it's very difficult to kind of predict the price action because there's no price action. There's nothing whatsoever. I mean, you're getting one giant order of 84,000, and then it's just kind of all these low orders. It's really bad. So you want to be careful with a stock like that. So I won't be watching that one. Oracle has been making a lot of noise lately. Let's take a look on how we are this morning. ORCL, and man, yeah, nice drop here over the last couple of days, but no volume. You really have to wait for the market open to see what it means for Oracle. We had a nice pop here between the 10th and the 16th. Some good movement. We might just go back to regular trading into the Fed announcement, right? And by then, you're going to have other stocks that are going to look a lot better than this one. But again, I think the fun is over. They have some news here. They did their thing, and then they just don't get volume. They're not really a great trader unless more news comes out. So won't be on the list today. Take a look at Roku, one of our good old favorite ones back in the day this morning. Again, just no volume. I won't give that a no CFC, but it's just no volume today. And CRM and Oracle are just kind of like brothers and sisters here. They're just brutal. They're just so bad unless they have news. So same thing here. I won't be watching this one unless some news breaks out that is going to make them dance for us today. So that's not looking good. Airbnb, let's take a look at that one from Envy Entertainment over on YouTube. And at the moment, no, I don't see. It's a lot of no's. This is no for today too. Now, what you could do is if you wait for the market open, especially with the interest rate cut announcement, this can actually have a nice move, right? They've been down for a bit here. Maybe we gotta look at interest sensitive companies like no other than Tesla, right? Very interest sensitive stock here. So I'll be watching Tesla as well, especially for the Fed announcement. Airbnb might be one of those. I'm not sure how sensitive they are to interest. I would think that business is somewhat, but as you can see here, they're just not getting no volume at the moment. So Peter, it's really quiet out there. Besides some of the stuff that are usual suspects, it's not really a whole lot that has its own catalyst today that's making some waves today. What's your thoughts?
That is true. Intel had some good moves over the last 2 days. I know a couple people mentioned that. Getting big volume for Intel. 1.2 million traded so far this morning, a little more than normal, but it may be. I think the excitement's probably over on that, right? It's great that they got that defense contract, but you can see the price. I mean, it moved up, but not huge. It didn't close that big gap it set back at the end of July, early August. So we're still down here. Since Carlos, if we had some time, I thought maybe we could talk strategy for a second because somebody asked me a question. Gonzalo asked, "So Peter, no trading for you today," and it made me think. my answer is the same as usual, but I am going to be more cautious today, right? Waiting for the 2 o'clock announcement. But it doesn't mean there won't be trade opportunities. Really, though, I need it for it to be an absolutely perfect setup. And that's sort of was my thought and my approach yesterday as well. And we do have time, right? Yeah, we're 5 to 9 here. If you don't mind me taking a minute or two, Carlos.
Yeah, no, we're good, man. Yep.
I only got 2 trades yesterday, and if anybody knows me, I am like one of the most boring traders I think out there, but I like it that way because I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for the exact same setup every single time. And that is what allows me to sort of take with confidence these trades when I see them. Look, I'm going to show you 2 charts. I'm just going to show you Tesla and my good buddy AMD from yesterday. So let's start with Tesla, because really, to me, when I look at this, my eye immediately goes to where my trade setup was. But if it's not your trade setup, you wouldn't necessarily see it. So here's what I look for, right? My trade setups are very simple. I watch through from the morning. I'm looking for a stock to either break a high or low of day. Then I want to see volume at that high or low of day, which tells me the buyers who are pushing it to the high of day have sort of all finished the job, right? They've got to the high of day. We get a big volume spike. We get a pullback from that, right, where they ease off. And then there's another attempt to break to a new high of day that fails because there's just not enough volume. Then, that's when I come in. All right, we have a bunch of high of day break traders out there that they look for that high of day. I'm looking for when their trade fails. That's when I swing into action. And to me, Tesla did that beautifully, right? I didn't trade at the morning, or at least at the open. I was waiting. It was a little bit after 10 o'clock when we see this high of day, right? High of day coming here right after 10 a.m. You can see, look at how the volume spikes much higher than average volume. You can see down at the bottom. Look at the uncertainty candle. We get the high, right? What a spinning top doji, if you will. That's not when I take a trade, though, because it still might test and move higher. I wait for the pullback. I wait for the retest. I got it around here, about 10-12, with a stop above the high of day. If I'm wrong, it's going to go and make a new high of day. If I'm right, though, I get something that looks like this. Let's just move forward on Tesla. Whoa. And zoom out a little bit. Basically, I had a trade then that lasted all day on Tesla, right? It just, once I got in, it never retested that level. And with enough patience, you can just wait on this thing and wait all day, right? And down it goes. That was a wonderful trade. AMD was even better, in my opinion, at the setup because it proved my theory. So once again, this was a trade that lasted, all day, exactly as I described on Tesla. Sorry, guys, let me get this chart here back in a way that makes sense. Once I got in, I rode this thing for the entire rest of the day because the setup was there. But what was even better about it, in my opinion, if we just zoom in on the trade entry, it gave me it proved why I do what I do. So let's look from the open, right? We're going through the open. Remember, I was taking Tesla around this 10-15, but AMD was still below VWAP. Not a great trade opportunity. It finally gets up here, gets a little bit more volume, but it's not at a high of day, right? It opened a little higher, so I'm waiting. It finally gets to a point where it's close to like setting a new high of day, a volume spike. Look, this is why I don't get in here, right? Pull back, wait for the retest, but it pushes higher. But it pushes higher on lower volume. So again, I'm waiting, right? Didn't meet my criteria. Pulls all the way back down to VWAP, goes up to a new high of day. Look at how the volume spikes once again. Big volume compared to the volume surrounding it, right? Look at another one of these uncertainty spinning top type dojis here, all right? Candles, comes back, retests with lower volume. That's when I took my trade entry, right? This time it was around 11:30. So I took my first trade at 10-12, roughly. I took my second trade at 11:30, and that's it for the day. But what else do you need when you get trades that then just drop and stay lower for the entire day? So I just thought I'd highlight that following your strategy is very important, but understanding and trusting that strategy is something that takes a long time to develop. And I've spent years sort of developing my ability to just trust my strategy. Don't let yourself get goaded into trading early. I've eliminated a lot of the stop outs, and that's exactly the type of setup that I'm going to be looking for today. My approach doesn't change. 2 o'clock is exciting. I'm waiting for it. But if I get a trade opportunity that looks exactly like one of these two again this morning, I'm going to take it. Right? It might work. It might not work. But either way, as long as I've got all the criteria that leads to a strong trading strategy. And again, this is my trade strategy. It doesn't have to be yours. But I just want you to understand when we're trading in the chat room, each one of us has a different approach that we're taking. But what's consistent is our trust in that strategy, because we've worked it through with a lot of hard work to make sure that we understand it and trust that setup so that we can take it with confidence and then manage it. Trial, this is absolutely my mountain pass strategy. So if you want more detail, there's a couple of other indicators that I look for, but I wanted to give you the high level of what I'm looking at and how yesterday was, like we talked about it, right? It was a nothing day. It was a day sort of in wait, but I got perfect setups. This is exactly why when I tell you guys, just because we don't have everything on the watch list, I still get excited because I could get a trade at any time. I just have to be patient and wait for it. It might set up, it might not, but I can afford to wait days if I have to for one of these setups, because when they do work, they work very well. Yesterday it just happened that I had two that worked fantastic. They don't always work like that, right? Quite often I get in and they move and then I get stopped out, or I get a full loss on it. That happens as well. But the probabilities tell me that over time, this is a profitable strategy that I can trade. So just a couple questions I see coming through. So yes, this is my mountain pass. It does work. It does work the same on the long side. I'm a short bias trader, so I prefer the shorts, but it absolutely works the exact same way on a long if you want to take a long trade. And on small caps, I do not trade this on small caps. I don't think it works as well on small caps. Part of the value that high of day, the break of high of day, and then the retest needs a fair amount of deep pocket backers behind it for that pattern to play out, right? Like I'm not actually playing the chart pattern. I'm playing the buying patterns that just results in a chart pattern. If that distinction doesn't mean much to you, you should really watch some of Thor's webinars where he talks about where the buy and sell demand is, because really that's what I'm playing: buy and sell demand. It just demonstrates itself, exhibits itself using a chart pattern, but I'm playing the buying pattern. Okay. So anyways, just thought I'd share that because we talk everything about what stocks you should look at and what we do. This is why, right? We set up we do the watch list, why we watch things. So I know which stocks am I going to watch today that are most likely to exhibit patterns that are meaningful to me. This is why we all have different watch lists, because we're looking for slightly different scenarios and criteria that's going to lead to what we hope are good patterns for our trading strategy. There you go. There's a little mini lesson. And this is the type of stuff you could find, by the way, in our webinars. If you're not an elite member, you don't have access to all those webinars, but this is the type of strategy we do in depth, so you understand different strategies. You can have different thought processes and take the things you like and incorporate it into your strategy and reject the stuff you don't like. There's a great Bruce Lee quote I like to use all the time where it says, take the stuff that you want, reject the stuff you don't, and make it uniquely your own, right? That was endemic to his martial arts style. I think it applies to trading as well. Like, you have to do it that way. So there you go. Carlos, thanks for giving me that moment. But and hopefully everybody out there maybe gives you some perspective you can use in your trading.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Some good questions in chat. And again, we got all these strategies in our education center. I mean, that was a very short snapshot of what this strategy is about. But in the education center, you get the whole access to how to trade that. By the way, also too, you can sign up. We still got a $1 membership thing for 7 days. Peter's going to talk about that a little bit later.
So if
you want to see more of these, okay, perfect. If you want to see more of those strategies, you can sign up for $1 and you get access to the intro courses that show you all that information. So take advantage of that. All right, friends. My list made up of Apple, NVIDIA, Meta, and Tesla right now. And I think we kind of covered everything. I haven't seen, I've been looking at both chats. I haven't seen any new tickers been thrown out here that are worth taking a look at. So let's head over to our community events and announcements. We'll come back and fine tune this list get some levels in, see what our moderators are looking at. See, Lenny's already out there with his 10 tickers, Mike with 2, and Thor with some. I always pick on Lenny. He always has the most tickers every morning, but I'm just kidding. All right, let's head over to bearbutchers.com, friends. We can look at the website right at the top. I just want to get to it. There it is. Webinars, and you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. Today is Wednesday, Fed Day Wednesday, and we have webinars by Randy Howe and Mike. So, Peter, we'll let you know
Yes,
what those are all about.
indeed. Our webinar tonight is in our psychology series because it is a Wednesday. So after all the excitement of the Fed rate announcement, let's go back and focus on the most important aspect of trading, which is your trading psychology. And Randy Howell is going to be leading our discussion tonight at 8 p.m. So back at usual time. I know a couple of people last night said, oh, geez, they missed the webinar because they forgot it was at an early time. It was at 5 o'clock versus 8. But again, for elite members, it's recorded. And it will be in the education center, so you can find it there. And I want to thank our friends Talking Taxes last night. It was a great webinar and very informative for those that were looking for the information. Yeah, they're up front, some offers for you in there. So it was a good session. Tonight, though, I said Randy's going to be back at the regular time at 8 o'clock, talking about how you can crack the secret code for disciplined trading. So having a disciplined mind will lead to disciplined trading. And like I was just showing you in my trades, right? It's not as easy as you think. It always sounds easy when someone like me gets up and says, look at this real simple setup. I picked this to show you because yesterday just happened to be one of those days where 2 of them worked perfectly, right? Most days are not like that. It's not perfect. It's very imperfect, and you've got to make decisions, right? Does it meet my criteria or not? How do I identify it? Having a disciplined mind and understanding what you're looking for and having that confidence and faith in yourself, which is all about psychology, not strategy, is important to make that successful. So hopefully you'll join us tonight for that webinar. And the next week, Mike is going to be leading. Again, it's Mike all week next week. So he's going to talk about the trader's edge and how you can strengthen your discipline. So we'll learn how to develop it tonight, and the next week we'll build on that and how you can strengthen it for the long term. So both of those are, again, 8 o'clock tonight and then next Wednesday, the 25th. I keep talking about it, but if you want to join us at Bearable Traders, bearabletrader.com is the place to go. So and we do have that $1 offer that Carlos was mentioning. Go to bearabletraders.com/YouTube, and you can get our membership offer for just $1 on their website. You'll see it's $39, but if you use that code, you'll get that $1 offer. You can only use it once. Then hopefully you'll consider joining us as a basic or elite monthly member, or the elite annual if you're really ready to jump in. It's the best deal for sure, but it's a great community. I always have a lot of fun. Everybody's so good there. They're all serious and watching the trades, and it's just a great place to be trading every single day. So shout out and some love to all of our members there. And if you wanted to join the party, check it out. Come check us out. All right. We do love your thumbs, though, as well. So give us those thumbs up on YouTube, by the way. It helps the growth of the channel, and we deeply appreciate it. Don't make us beg. We hate doing that. At least I do. All right. Let's set some levels, Carlos, because we do have some trading, and hopefully we'll get some trading opportunities this morning while we're waiting for that rate announcement.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that we're not going to get into this chop fest into that time. Hopefully it's like an hour or 2 of good trading while we wait for that. Eventually we'll get into the choppy zone, just kind of waiting and see what the release is going to be. As Peter mentioned, we're sitting at 160 likes with 523 people watching. One of those people watching is our good buddy Kevin. I want to shout him out. He actually just moved over from Capital Elite Group, which is CMEG, over to where is it, right over here, over to Interactive Brokers. That means he got over the PDT rule, grew his account. So man, shout out to you. Always great to see members be able to do that. So great job there, man. Congrats. That's awesome. It's not an easy thing to do. It's very, very difficult. But it looks like you've been on it, man. So nice to see that. All right, with that, let's get to some levels, guys. Let's start here with Apple. Apple this morning, again, not doing a whole lot, pretty flat for the most part. We're going to expect this from a lot of the stocks we're going to be watching today. Let's set some levels here. We'll look towards the low of the day here. It's going to be 215.50, so we'll slam one there. And then towards the bottom of that, 212.06. It's a good area there to put a level as well. Towards the top, if we can get going, high of the pre-market is just above the highs from the last two trading days and the previous day close over at 217. So we'll put a level there as well. And then if we can get something towards the top, the next best level I see is going to be 219, right? 219, you have a couple of days hopping on there. But if you look at this previous day close, that's a big level for Apple. Is used to that support for a couple of times here into a gap down below it. And now it's just kind of hanging out around this previous day close, so slightly above it this morning. So it could be a good support area. We'll keep an eye out for that. Next is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA also, again, not doing a whole lot, just wrapping itself around this previous day close at the moment. Decent volume, but volume seems to be less and less every time. Yes, it was around this time, was like around 8 million. Today it's only 5.7 million. Again, that's awesome volume, but we saw them go through a span here of a week or two where the volume was like above 10 million by now. So interesting to see a little bit of a lesser volume than what we're accustomed to in the pre-market. High of the pre-market, speaking of, is 115.99, so it's very nice. And then towards the top here, we're looking at 117.26. Towards the bottom, below the low of the pre-market, I'm going to go to the left. Do we have anything significant here? We got a couple. This is very significant, 108. You could clearly tell us the level here on the daily, but that's far out. I don't expect to get there unless we don't get interest rate cuts. I'm telling you, man, if they come back and say zero nada, man, just load
Oh
the
my
boat
God.
short. Just go
Yeah.
short
Oh
on
yeah.
everything. We're gonna make a killing
Yeah.
today. Part of me wants that to happen. My 401k does not want that to happen. But yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of do. I think it'll be fun because we'll bounce back. I think it'll be fun to not get a rate cut today for us. For us,
Carlos
because
just wants
what do
to
you guys
watch
think?
the world burn.
I just want to watch the madness burn for a little bit. We'll recover, but we'll make a killing, guys, going short today if that happens. There it is. This will be us. This is fine. Holding short a bunch of stocks, right? It won't be good for. Actually, no, I don't want that because it won't be good for my options. I'm long heavy on options right now, so there's what we're going to be waiting for, buddy. Jerome Powell, sprinkle a little action for us today. Is there a Fed meeting today, Alexander? Absolutely. 2 p.m. is going to be your second market open, and then 2:30 will be the speech from Powell. So we'll be looking forward to that. All right. Let's see here. I sound like Aikman. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but I want the best for all of us
I
here.
love that graphic.
Yeah, yeah. Let's head over to Meta. Again, my list made of our usual suspect. Meta is next here. We do have our high of our pre-market. Pretty quiet right now. Over at 539. Low of the pre-market 535.41. And then you're surrounded by the highs and lows. This thing pretty close to all-time highs, right? So we've been just kind of sticking around here near all-time highs. Meta hasn't really sold off like we saw some of the other stocks like Nvidia, Apple, some other ones take a dive. Meta's just kind of been hanging out here, which is really nice. 544 is the high of the all-time highs on this one, so I'm going to slam that level there, at least on the daily. And then towards the bottom, you have plenty with the highs and lows for the last two trading days. Last but not least, this is a very sensitive interest rate company, which is Tesla. So this, I expect this one to be very, very active today, no matter whatever happens. 227.28 is the low of the pre-market, and towards the top, the high is going to be at 229, and we just been literally just stuck here. Like this level, we have not been able to break above that level. The few times that we have, we're quickly slammed back down. In some cases, the exact same day, we just go right below this 229.39 level. So we'll keep an eye on that. Above that, we do have a minor area of a possible resistance over at 230, 239. It's not a major one, but a minor level that you might want to also mark there as well. Puppet Master's asking, are we going to be live on YouTube this afternoon? Yes, we are. We're going to go live at 1:30. 1:30, we'll be going live to kind of prepare for the minutes release. So 1:30 Eastern time, that is, and then we'll go all the way to the actual speech, right? Kind of have some fun and see what takes place, see how the market reacts, and we'll see how things takes place. So it should be a lot of fun, and hopefully, if we're able to, we'll even take some trades with you guys live if we're able to find some good opportunities. All right. next is I do have some secondary stuff. Google, Lunar, and PRTG this morning down here making some noise. Lunar looks very good. I know a lot of people are watching this one. It is in play now. 18 million shares traded. So the volume is just pouring in on this thing, up 55%. So um, we'll we'll look at one more INTC because our good buddy Jao Mestri is hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is mentioning it over on YouTube at the moment. Pretty quiet. Intel's been weird, man. It's just getting a lot of movement. Like look at it yesterday. Also did this peak over here and came right back down where it bounced from. So it's been very interesting. Just kind of got to wait for the market open. The pre-market looks horrible, but you can't judge it by that because look at it yesterday, horrible pre-market action, and then did very, very well. Actually, pre-market got really good towards like the 8 o'clock time frame with that sell-off, recovered nicely, and then right back down. So I'll put it my secondary is a definitely interesting stock to be on the lookout for. All right. With that said, friends, let's take a look at our moderators list, and then we'll hand it off to who's trading live today, Lenny and Brian. Looking forward to that market open with those two guys as well.
We do have our moderators starting to come in with their lists here. So Lenny's, he's always looking at something slightly different, which is awesome. It gives him that perspective on the market. He's going to be watching X, PLTR, Intel, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Mike's, again, always keeping it tight these days with just two tickers, NVIDIA and Meta. Thor, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, and of course his futures. I'm going to be watching AMD, Tesla, and NVIDIA, the good old standbys. With the secondary Microsoft, Google, and LUNR for fun. Interestingly, Megan is watching Dash. Not what I would expect out of her. What's DoorDash up to recently? Not much. But anyway, she's got a view on it, so we'll see what happens. Avi is going to be watching Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD. Pierre is going to be watching NVIDIA, AMD, Tesla, Amazon, and Microsoft. And Jared's also watching DoorDash. Didn't want to be left out of the party once Megan's watching something, so he's added it to his list along with Tesla and Intuitive Devices, LUNR, LUNR. So those are our lists. Like we've been saying, guys, expect lower volume on our traditional stocks today, right? We're already seeing lower volume on Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, AMD, all have slightly lower than average volume. That's not unexpected. You're going to see a lot of, again, deep pockets have already staked their claim. They're not going to be moving significantly until that rate announcement. But hopefully we should get some better than average trading this afternoon after that rate announcement happens, but we'll find out. It really depends on what the rate is. And I can tell you, I don't think we've had a more eagerly anticipated rate announcement for a couple of years. So everybody was all like depressed when it was just increase after increase. Now, it's been almost 3 years before we've had to look forward to a decrease. And again, everybody thinks there's a decrease. So if one doesn't happen, it's going to be crazy. I'm just looking here at the insight. Hasn't changed from yesterday. We're still sitting at about 63%. 61% now, thinking there's going to be a half point, where 39% are thinking a quarter point. So again, 100% of everybody thinks it's going to be 25 or 50 basis points. So we'll find out together. Again, 1:45, we're going live. Rejoin us after the open if you want to play. If you want to do that with us, it would be awesome. We look forward to having you here. So, that's what our moderators are watching. That's what we're expecting for the day. Again, I'm going to be cautious, but looking for opportunity this morning. I'm not going to turn it down. I will tell you, though, unless I'm really, really far away from my entry by 2 o'clock, I'll probably be getting out of a trade just because, again, the spike could be massive in one direction or the other, and I don't want to get caught in it unless I've got a lot of room, a lot of safety room between my entry and that. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I may not even get a trade this morning. I am fully prepared to have no trades whatsoever until after the rate announcement. But either way, I plan to be ready, and we'll take them as they come. So with that, we do have live trading to go, right? We're not going to be idle at the open. We've got our live traders coming in. We have Brian this morning, and I don't remember. Thor, I think, is
Pierre,
back with her.
I think.
Is Pierre. Okay, there you go. Thank
Correct
you.
me if
I
I'm
set
wrong,
up the
Pierre.
schedule
Nice.
and I couldn't even remember.
Awesome, beautiful thing. All right, friends, there it is. Moderator's list all set in. And I'm going to add Dash because Jared and Megan both are watching it. And I don't want to be the one, to hear how Dash did a great move because
It's
they
so
know
fun.
something we don't know, obviously. So I want to be part of the party, right? So I'm watching that one in my secondary as well.
Yeah.
All right,
I
friends.
know.
That covers it. We'll wait for Brian and Pierre, who also trades a little bit like me on the 5-minute ORB. Very calm trader. You're not going to see him explode out of his seat and go crazy, short or long. But I really like his style. He also has a video in the education center on how he trades his 5-minute ORBs. There's three of us that do it, right? Lenny, Pierre, and myself. So check out those videos. Different styles, but all very effective. So take a look at that. All right. With that said, friends, we're just waiting for them to hop on. Hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. I haven't checked where we're sitting at. 215. Let me refresh. Get the latest and greatest from you guys here. Yeah, 214. So if you can help us there, that would be awesome. Let's get over 300. I usually like to be over 300 before we hand the show over. That means me and Peter have done our jobs, right? What happens after that is out of our controls. But if you could help us get to 300, that would be awesome. All right. Peter, anything else?
No, I think we got it covered. Again, it's just about waiting for the right opportunity to trade. I do feel like it's a special day, so it should be fun. Again, just be patient though, guys. Like the last thing you want to do is be going into that Fed announcement at max loss because think of how that's just going to mess with your head, right? And you won't be able to enjoy that. So, it's okay if you see an opportunity, take it, but do what you can. Don't just go crazy starting to trade all sorts of things. So I don't want to see anybody at that max loss if we can. I never want to see anybody at max loss, but especially not a day like today.
Save some ammo. Save some ammo. If things are not working out, save some ammo. You got another opportunity coming up at 2:00. Good morning, Brian. How are you doing, my friend?
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning, Carlos, Peter. I'm doing well, thank you. Hope everyone's having a good morning so far. Good pre-market show, as usual.
Yeah. The day is finally here, Brian.
The day has finally arrived, the big day, the day that everybody's been anticipating, waiting for, and it's probably going to be a dud.
It could be.
We're probably going to get disappointed.
They've got...
well, and to that point, we have to keep in mind, right? If there is a half point cut and 2/3 of everybody thinks there's going to be a half point cut, then yes, everything's already priced in, right? So there's nowhere to go. We're already at the right price. If it comes in at a 1/4 point, well, then there's more people that are going to be on the wrong side of that. Maybe we'll get a more movement. And it's only if it's outside of those two that we'll probably see big stuff. But hey, Newt, we're all going to find out together.
We are all going to find out together. Yep, should be fun. We're going to have a party online.
You bet.
Yeah.
Peter, is there going to be any shot drinking for 1/4 point, half point?
Oh my God, no! Don't do that to me. No.
Everybody
always wants me to drink something when that happens.
We always want Peter to drink on live TV. Live YouTube.
I'm good. I don't.
What can we do here, Peter?
Wednesday afternoon?
Oh, okay. Like you make it sound like there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, I think
like we haven't done morning shots.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, get the tequila. Get the tequila or your favorite libation lined up. 2.5 shots. I think when 1/4 point.
Yeah, when AMD first broke like 200, I think I was drinking at like 932 or something like that. So, but which didn't do good for my trading for the rest of the day. But it happened.
It happened.
Look at Megan making fun of my chair here. She's circling. Start the time a GoFundMe fund for Carlos because my chair's like peeling off over here. And I'm like, no. I love this chair. I am not changing this chair. It's so comfortable. I got it just where I need it to be.
Carlos, I hear you, man. My chair is like 30 years old now. It's one of these old
it just
those
works.
Aeron chairs. It's like it keeps working and it's comfy and
This has been trading with me since I started. Hey, good morning, Pierre. Since 2017. What if I change and start losing money? That's not gonna be fun. All right, guys, we'll hand it off to you guys. Brian, Pierre.
This was my desk chair at Nortel Networks back in 1998. So that's how long I've had this.
Everybody
Baby.
take a drink.
So,
Everybody take a drink. Corporate life.
there you
coming
go.
in.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
anyways, all right, guys.
Take care, guys.
We'll leave it to our open traders. Have fun and good morning, Pierre.
Thank you.
Good morning, Pierre.
How you doing, Brian? It's been a while.
It has been a while. So we meet again.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, yeah, I think, yeah, Carlos likes his chair, but I think he really needs some pictures in the background or something other than that wall. I think it kind of looks like, as I said yesterday, it kind of looks like he's trading from a jail cell or something. So anyway, all right. What are you looking at this morning? NVIDIA, AMD,
Looking
Tesla.
pretty much at the casual. So I have NVDA, AMD, also Tesla, Amazon. Microsoft is interesting. I like how the daily chart looks. We have a monthly R4 at 440, and that corresponds to the R4 we have on the daily. So that could be an interesting spot where I will want to short it. But again, it's a kind of day where I want to really be patient. Let's see how the morning play out. And if I don't find anything, maybe come back a bit later in the afternoon and find some trades then.
Okay.
Not too much volume so far, eh?
Brian, Pierre, sorry to interrupt. Would you guys be able to share your screens in the BPT chat room?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just
sure.
just doing that right now. Thanks, Brent. I'm kind of looking at Tesla. It looks like there's some asks at 230, 231. So kind of liking the price action.
Yeah, not too much volume so far. Might be a really slow morning. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some price action on some of our faves, but yeah, I think it's going to get kind of quiet, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, Tesla is still moving. Going to
230 here. 230. There's your 230.
See how the order book looks like on Tesla.
It's not bad, up to 231.
Amazon is dropping a bit here. Same for Microsoft. Not too much volume on those two yet.
Microsoft has announced some kind of a deal with BlackRock for some energy infrastructure fund. So it's moving on, or not moving on that news. I guess it's not big news.
When that news came out?
What's that?
When that news came out on Microsoft, was it
I
yesterday?
think that was this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, not really getting much of a bump here.
Tesla is stalling a bit here at 230, which is R3 also on the daily.
Yeah. What do we got? Upgrades. There's VF Corp. VF Corp got an upgrade.
All right, 30 seconds. Just remember, guys, trade safe in the morning. Be patient. The big move is probably going to happen a bit later in the day, so don't try to push any trades outside of your trade book and keep it safe. All right.
Here we go.
Tesla is popping here.
Yeah. Here's 231. Okay, I got a bit of an entry on it, just small, but just around 230. So let's see where she goes.
Yeah, it's still pushing. Nice.
Yeah, I'm just, again, small size on Tesla, 230.
Yeah, it's getting a bit extend here in between R3 and R4. We might find some selling here.
Yeah, we might, yeah, there's an order back here at 230.50. There are some orders building that are higher up. So I'm going to get out of some of it. 231. VF Corp getting a bit of a pop here. Ooh, Apple's moving up.
So not too much volume so far, except NVDA as always.
It's long Apple. See where we're going. See if we get to this 219 level.
AMD is going over the view up here. Nice engulfing.
Here we go. Come on, Apple. 219. Here we go. Sold some. A nice pop. Had to get out of rest of my Tesla trade. Flat on that. Selling some more Apple 219.15.
Yeah, that was expected on Tesla. When he looks like it was starting around 230 and also close to R4 R4 and R3. It's a spot where it will usually start selling.
Yeah.
You still catch a small move on that one.
Yeah, I got a small move on it on a small share size. AMD, or not AMD, Apple rejected right at R6. I should have shorted it there. I'm out of the rest of it.
I
Again,
wasn't looking at Apple. Let's see. Oh yeah, right
Yeah, I
at
got it.
R6.
yeah, I got a nice push through 219. Came back to my break even, so I'm out of it. Yeah, really nice rejection at R6. It's probably Thor probably shorted it there.
Tesla is still dropping.
Yeah, Tesla had an order to fill at 228. There's some orders down here at 227, 226.50. Don't know if it's going to get there.
The
'Cause this
daily
is
chart
a-
looks.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this is where we could bounce right here on Tesla. Watch for a possible bounce here. I'm not going to take that trade, but it's close to PDC, although there are orders lower here.
Yeah, we'll be careful going long on Tesla. The daily chart looks pretty bearish.
Yeah.
You okay, Brian?
What's that?
You okay?
I had to prevent the cat from jumping up into my lap because first off he'd start trading, and secondly he'd dig his claws into me. Okay, looks like Apple's bounced off the VWAP here, going back up to this high of day. Yeah, Tesla looks like it has more downside.
Looking at Apple here, what it's gonna do again at R6. If we get some good VPA here, I could be interested in going short. Let's see how the order book looks like.
All right, Qs have sold off a little bit. SPY sold off. Indexes have gone red. SPY and the Dow red. Yeah, here comes the bounce on Tesla. Back into the green. AMD is weak. Wow, Tesla or Apple's pushing now right through
Yeah,
the high.
Apple's still strong.
Yeah, should have added to that. Should have got back in at the VWAP. That would have been a good VWAP trade. Let's take a look here. Again, kind of a rejection right at that R6 level.
Yeah, it looks like it's losing a bit of momentum.
There is some orders stacked here at 219.50 and two big order at 220. Oh, NVIDIA selling off, AMD selling off more. Qs are right at
short Apple here.
What's that?
I'm short Apple here. Got my stop at high of the day.
Nice. Yeah, Qs are selling off.
Yeah, Tesla is still going down, low of the day. AMD and NVDA really weak. Let's see what Microsoft is doing, selling as well.
Still got that big order at 220 on Apple. Qs and SPY. SPY's gone red. Qs are going red now. The only index in the green is IWM, small caps. I think that the small caps are, if we don't get half point, I think the initial reaction is going to be to the downside on IWM because it's the most rate sensitive index. So we'll see what happens there. of course.
Wow, look at the AMD.
Yeah, I know AMD has lost yesterday's low. God. Still some buyers there on Apple. Qs are bouncing back. Okay, we're getting a bit of a bounce here.
Like Apple is still having trouble at that R6 level.
Yeah, looking at that.
Slowly losing volume as well, which is a good sign. There's lots of orders stacked here, and again, this 220 level has a lot of orders at it on Apple. I don't know. I'm tempted to go long on Apple, but it is really finding pretty significant resistance at that R6 level. But the order book is pretty bullish. So the Qs came back up, SPY's back in the green. Yep, Q's back at the VWAP.
Yeah. Okay, NVIDIA's right at the VWAP. AMD came up, touched the VWAP, rejected.
Yeah, same for Tesla.
Would have been same for Tesla, you're right. That would have been a trade right there, except I missed it. Yeah, Apple looking like it's really struggling here.
Yeah, it's not rejecting like I was expected. I'm still in the trade short. Got my stop at 219.65. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Qs are starting to push through the VWAP here, so we should get some. Maybe I'll get some follow through buying, but yeah, Apple looking weak. The book on AMD is kind of bearish too.
Let's see AMD. Yeah, big order at 148. Have a big buyer here.
Yeah.
149 as well.
Tesla again trying to hold PDC.
So 945. I'm looking right now for a potential 15 minutes RNB. Didn't really saw nothing I like for a 5-minute RNB, so let's see if that time frame give me better opportunity. We'll be tempted in Tesla short, but I don't like the way it's holding that low 227.
Yeah.
See on Bookmap on Tesla brand, we had a big order at 229.50 that just removed a couple minutes ago.
Oh yeah. There is an order at 227 here. We may be coming down to that.
Jamie in the chat asking me, what are you watching for a 15-minute RNB? I'm looking at first thing, how that first 15-minute candle closed. Then I'm looking for low volume pullback towards the VWAP. And if I see a lot of moving averages stack with the VWAP like we see on Tesla, just give me more confidence that we're going to have a rejection. But the red flag I have with Tesla right now is that it's having trouble to go lower than 227.
Yeah.
And usually I like to play my RNBs either on a buying range or a selling range. And Tesla right now is pretty much in the middle. So just not the thing I like to see if it's stuck in the middle like that.
Yeah, I find with Tesla it does respect levels, so it does respect this levels like the PDC. But I found that sometimes if it keeps testing it, eventually it'll break down. So it's a possibility that it's going to go lower. It's just going to bounce around there for a while. AMD, the book is pretty. You don't usually see an order book that looks like this. Really heavy orders, right stacked right between the price action. Shows that buyers and sellers just kind of duking it out here. And it'll break one way or another eventually, but NVIDIA just kind of lost what got up to PDC and lost it.
Yeah.
So your Apple trade is starting to work a little better here. It's back down to the VWAP again.
Yeah, we need to see what's going to happen at the VWAP here. If we're going to try to bounce again or we reject it. Rex, my target on Apple is 215.4.
Wow. That's aggressive.
Yeah, Tor, I agree. I need the market to help me out here. Not super confident about that trade, but I like it. And anyway, every time I enter a trade, I accept my risk and I just let it play out. Really, the way I see it is the risk I'm putting is the amount I'm willing to pay to see if the trade is going to work or not. So that's the mentality I have here.
All right. Well, it's a pretty slow morning for me, relatively speaking. I've had 2 trades, Apple and Tesla. Both of them worked out. There's your loss of the VWAP on Apple.
Yeah, big candle on the Qs here.
Yeah, big drop and then it bounced right back up again. Yeah, pretty erratic price action on the indexes.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably not a day Thor's loving.
Tesla bounce over the VWAP here. See, that's the reason why I prefer
Yeah.
not going short.
Again, bounce back on the Qs. We're right back at the VWAP. Still got that big order at 220 sitting there on Apple. So it's really what's kind of kept me out of this going short on this. You're right back up to 219 maybe. 219.50. The market starts to rally. AMD is starting to bounce. Is there some news on Apple? I'm
Not sure.
it certainly was strong and started to get strong in the pre-market and really obviously is taking off here.
Yeah, things are going a bit here. I'm not sure if it's going to keep going, though. I wouldn't bet on it.
Big order now, an order showing up to 219.50. Bit of an order there.
Yeah, I don't like how the order book looks like on Apple right now. It's more
Yeah, that's like I said. I'm tempted to short it. It's
that 220 order, also 229, 219.80. I mean, lots of orders there, but we'll see. I like that latest push we had on Apple towards R6. What was with decreased volume? Good VPA here.
Right. Okay, I shorted a little bit at 219.15. See, some of the the market makers have pulled some of their bids down at 219.50. So that order book lightened up a bit there. Come on. Come on, Apple. Roll over. Q SPY not doing much. Oh, some orders showed back up to 1950-ish.
Yeah, Qs are trying to go over the VWAP. NVIDIA looks strong here. Wow.
Yeah, NVIDIA popped up. Okay, flush time, come on. Come on, Apple. Let's see.
Amazon had a pretty nice bounce from S4.
Oh, yeah. I noticed some of our mods were watching Amazon. I saw that show up there a few times. There we go. Here we go.
Buying
Oh,
green.
crap. Couldn't stay below there.
And
I
Apple
bought it
is
right
it's also at monthly S3, that
Yeah.
218.85 level.
Okay, right now we're sitting on the 9 EMA on the 2-minute chart here. So VWAP is 218.66. If we get back down there again, be a good place to partial around 218.70.
Aaron catch pretty nice short on Microsoft. Good entry on that one.
See. Oh, nice. Yeah, beauty.
Jamie, it's a group of seller.
Yeah, I think so. You're right. The R-vol is pretty strong. Yeah, Microsoft had a bit of a sell-off right at the open. What else? What else are we looking at here? Google kind of sold off at the open. Amazon, a lot of stocks just leaked off at the open. Now they're kind of coming back.
Yep. Yeah, Apple turned out a bit choppy here.
Yeah, looks like NVIDIA is trying to make a move here. So, bit of a thought, advice. If you're going to be around at 2:00, kind of build some thoughts on a watch list, stocks that you might want to trade depending on which direction the market ends up trending after speech. Whether you want to, as I mentioned earlier, small caps could be interesting if we only get a quarter point. I think small caps might be an interesting one to short. So you could use you could short IWM, or you could short you could go short with an ETF, TZA. If we do get a half point, you could trade the small caps to the bull side and use TNA. So anyway, like I said, just start thinking about what stocks you might be interesting to make moves after this decision comes out.
Amazon
I
is
honestly,
right back
Yeah.
high of the day on Amazon. Yeah, the Qs turned out pretty choppy here around the VWAP.
yeah, and this is kind of what we expected.
Yeah. I think this afternoon and tomorrow will be pretty interesting day. I'll be here trading with you tomorrow as well, Brian. So I'm looking forward
Okay.
for tomorrow. I think we're gonna have some pretty decent moves. In the meantime, the Qs are selling a bit here.
Yeah, dropping. Nvidia's dropping. Tesla pulled back from pretty much from R3. Oh, there goes AMD or Apple again. Just keeps struggling at that sort of 219.30 area. Just obviously a big iceberg seller there.
You still short Apple or?
Yes, still hanging in there. I'll stop out with you. All right, let's do a poll here while we're sort of watching things. See what everybody thinks about what we're going to get here from the Fed. We're doing a a poll in the room: quarter point, half point, or other.
What do you
I don't
think,
know. That'd
Brian?
be a real. I think quarter point.
A quarter point.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's. I mean, you can make an argument either way, but we've had some pretty strong economic data at the beginning of the week here.
Mhm.
Retail sales was good. Empire State Manufacturing Index was strong. But obviously there is there's definitely some labor market weakness. But the labor market is still, I wouldn't say it's as strong as it was, but it's not. All right, we got almost 300 responses. Just finish up here, and we'll show you the results. It's gonna be interesting to see what people think here.
A lot of members on YouTube think it's going to be 0.25 as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of 2.5, 0.25s.
Yeah.
We got a 0.50 from one person.
Okay. Yeah, it's
Everybody
funny.
thinks it's going to be a quarter point.
Yeah. Okay, just finish up, guys. I'm just going to post the results. We've got over 300 responses here in the room. Had a big buyer step in on Apple, but again, there seems to be a seller there at 219.40-ish. It's funny, the CVD, the cumulative volume is red, which means their selling pressure is higher on Apple, even though it's you wouldn't know it looking at that chart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's show you the results.
So 62% of a quarter point.
Yeah. So 2/3, 1/3. which is opposite from what is the Fed Watch tool telling us this morning here?
I'm out on Apple here.
Yeah, Fed Watch tool has us. Yeah, I think we're going to fill 220 here. This is why I really didn't like this trade too much. I had to, bailed on it as well. It's probably, it was setting up as an ascending triangle, just waiting to break out here. So Fed Watch Tool still saying 61% half point cut, 39% quarter point. So we shall see.
Yeah, that will be interesting. Yeah, looks like Apple really won that 220 order. Still trying to push a bit here. So that was a good trade. Was the right spot to go short. The order book wasn't backing up my trade too much there, but good spot to go short.
Yeah.
Like we expected, pretty much everything is choppy, not really picking any direction today, so makes it hard for day traders. I think this afternoon will bring more opportunities.
Yes, definitely. NVIDIA's kind of sold back off here. AMD's selling back off here. Tesla may go retest this PDC level. Yeah, they really want this to go to 220.
D sharp, no, I'm not. I'm not interested in shorting Apple again. Usually, I don't like to take more than one or max 2 trade per ticker. I feel like when I start trading one ticker too much, my mindset becomes more like a revenge. Like I'm playing against the stock, not with it. So, but that's something really personal for me.
It must be Warren Buffett buying back into this, getting his position back up again.
The Qs are going red here.
Yeah, back red again. Yeah, that's the only index that's actually green at this point. So
There's an order on Apple that just came in at 219.75. After that, we have that big one at 220 still.
yeah.
Q's low of the day.
Yeah, that was big drop on the Qs there. SPY drop as well.
Yeah, Apple still looks strong. Dropped here and bounced right away.
Yeah, right back up. We bought it right back up again. They really want to do some transactions right around 220.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great, really good illustration of how price moves to these orders.
Yeah, they get a track naturally.
Yeah,
It's really interesting to see it happening on Bookmap.
yeah.
All right, so just one trade so far for me this morning on Apple short that didn't work. I think I'm not gonna take any more trades this morning. I will go to the gym and make sure to come back this afternoon to see if we have better setups. So
Okay.
I'm gonna call it
That
a
works.
morning here. So we're broadcasting on YouTube, right, Brian, this afternoon at 1:30.
Yes, we will be on. We will be on YouTube. We will be. We'll have a couple of our moderators on. I'm sure Peter, Mike will be on. Jared probably joining us as well. Always interested in his take. So yeah, here we go. This thing's going to go to 220.
Yeah, it's almost there. Yeah, so guys on YouTube, make sure to join the live this afternoon at 1:30. That will be really interesting to trade during
Sorry.
this hour?
Just to correct, it'll be at 1:45. We'll start.
1:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
1:45.
Thank you, Brent.
No worries.
Right on.
And we're going to have Peter, John, and Mike is going to join us so far.
Okay, I'll probably
Nice.
join as well.
Okay. So, yep. So that works.
Yeah.
All right. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Brian. Always nice trading
Cheers.
with you, and looking forward for tomorrow. See if we have better opportunities.
Yep. It should be a better day tomorrow, I would think. So we got to 219.99 on Apple, but I still think we're going to break through that 220. Tesla's moving back up as well. We got a bounce back on the SPY and the Qs. Just trying to see what else. I'm not going to take any more trades unless I really see something that I feel compelled. Something that's a good setup. But right now it feels like we're probably just going to chop around here. Oracle's been struggling this morning.
Talking about choppy price action, we're going to have Lenny come in at 10:30 and do a little bit of a session on how to avoid choppy price action.
Okay, awesome. So that's looking forward to that. So we've got still got a big order at 220 on Apple, but kind of challenged that area, and now we're pulling back. But again, just be careful. It's always when you have a stock like Apple today, where that's obviously got buyers. Pullbacks are often bought, so they're pretty hard to maintain a short in if you're looking for a trend. So this was a bit of a gap fill on Apple. We had back on that was September 10th. Low was, see the close, open 219. So 219. So we kind of closed that gap from the 10th of September. Looks like we may try to make another run here at this 220. Qs and SPY rolling over again. So again, it's just kind of a choppy session till we get to big decision. Again, Tesla rolling over. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands today or this morning, guys. Again, if you look at Tesla, for example, just rolling hills, basically. I suppose if you wanted to trade, if you wanted to trade this range it was in, you'd probably buy it down here, sell it back up around 229.50. Tesla does look a little weak here. Of course, not a great short because we're right at PDC right now, which is where it's held before a couple of times. So 227, there's an order there. But again, I'd expect a bounce here just because we're at PDC yet again. What does Apple look like? Pull back on Apple now. Any other trades? Eli, what did you do? A little bit of a trade on Tesla. Nice. I didn't really like well, LUNR actually had a nice looking run. Try again. Let's just take a LUNR could go to $9 here. There goes Tesla. Tesla lost PDC actually. On the chart, it really doesn't look that interesting. LUNR, that is. It's kind of been chopping around here. Well, if we widen it out a bit, it's harder to trade these stocks that are under $10. Wow, we've really gone red on the day here. All the indexes are in the red. All the semis are in the red. Meta and Google still green. Boeing is green, just barely. Of course, Apple is green. Yeah, look at LUNR. LUNR's going to go, by the looks of it, it's going to go to $9 maybe. Wow. Just took a bit of a long on LUNR here, like it's moving. You mentioned that. La Dida, thank you for pointing that out. It's got a nice little volume spike there on that. All right, I'm gonna sell some here. 87, 887. Oh, here we go. Sell some more at 890. Wow, Apple just broke on through to the other side. Liking this for $9 right now. Sell some more. 893. Generally don't like to trade stocks under $10, but as La Dida pointed out, Bookmap kind of looked interesting on this. Here's your orders that we're gravitating to. I'm not liking that pullback, so I'm out of most of it. But let's see what it does after on this pullback. Might be like Apple. Might be just taking its time getting to over this big area of liquidity. Qs and SPY are bouncing back here. Qs have gone green again today. Wow, Apple is so strong, crazy. Apple's going to 221. All right. Well, Brent, it's 10:30, and
Sorry, Lenny's not in yet. Just going to give him
okay,
another minute or so.
a few more minutes. All right, so let's see here. Do or die. Do or die on LUNR or intuitive machines. LUNR. Wow. Man, oh man.
Okay, I got Lenny.
All right. They're really coming after Apple today. Boy. All right. You got Lenny. I got you, babe. Hey, Lenny. Looking good, buddy.
Hey, thank you.
In a Colombian jail. You need some pictures too.
Yes,
All right.
that's all good, man.
Thanks, everybody for joining us for live trading. And I'm open here. wasn't the best of days, but there were some trades to be had here. So we'll leave it over to Lenny, and he's going to tell you how to avoid days like this. So take it away, bud, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, hey guys. By the way, Brent, I'm going to share some examples from my screen, from my desktop. That's fine, right? So perhaps you could share them. Be
Yep.
ready if I'm
Just give me one
about to
second.
share them. Yeah, so let's speak today. I think today is a very good day to speak a little bit about choppy price action, right? About how to avoid choppy price action. I think today is really like a day to be very careful. As we've seen, of course, the reasons are, I think, discussed extensively this morning because of the big decision this afternoon. Therefore, the markets are taking it slow today. We also see like a very low R-vol in the SPY, only 46%, low R-vol in the Qs, 51%, so very low volume. And that causing a lot of choppy price action. So what is choppy price action? Choppy price action is the opposite of trending price action. Choppy price action means that price action is going up, going down. It shows a fake move. It's going down again. And then you're trying to go short, and the price action comes back up again, and you're getting chopped out. I believe that's also the origin of the word choppy price action. You're getting chopped up all the time. So let's discuss that topic a little bit today because I think it's very important to avoid that at all costs. And I think it's very important to understand in that regard that there's not always imbalances in the price action. As traders, we're looking for imbalances where really the buying pressure is stronger than the selling pressure, or the selling pressure is stronger than the buying pressure, right? If the buying pressure is stronger, we want to try to look for a long. If the selling pressure is stronger, we want to look for a short. So it's very important to understand that there are not always price imbalances. Actually, the far majority, there are no price imbalances. The price action is just moving basically, you could say, random. It's very hard to predict whether price action go up or down, or perhaps even impossible. Same like a drunk man walking. You cannot predict if he will go left or right, or if he fall down, or if he will stand up, or what will happen. You just cannot predict it. So you won't bet on him turning left or turning right because it's impossible. At the same time, the opposite of this drunk man walking that you cannot predict, or the price imbalance that is not there to anticipate, is a big herd. A lot of people getting in or a lot of people getting out. And that's the difference between choppy price action and trending price action. The price action is or more choppy or it's more trending. Or it's like the drunk man that is walking around and you don't know where it goes. Yeah, you could place your bet, he's going right, but then he will go left and you lose your money. Or there's like the tons of people who are getting, or market participants who are looking to get in or get out, and then we're placing our bet. And we're trying to go with it. So I think it's very important to first understand that there's choppy price action or trending price action, or um, the beginning of a potential trend. Of course, that's even better, right? If we're getting in at the beginning. So, and therefore, in that regard, it's also important, I think, to understand that we're trading price action. Yes, we're looking at the candles, but we're not trading the candles. We're looking actually how the price action moves. So now, for example, we're looking at the SPY, and you can see my screen if things are correct. Yes, we see candles, but if we're looking at the price action behind these candles, we just see the price action going up, going down, going up, going down, going up, going down, going up, going down, just in the same range to the top side, to the bottom side, price action is simply going up and going down. So yes, we're looking at candles, but if we really trying to understand the price action, you just see the price action moving up, moving down, right? So that is not the groups of people getting in or getting out. It's just random moving, and that's really what we're looking to avoid. So remember, we trade price action and we do not trade the candles. So let's take a look at a few examples of choppy price action today. For example, I had X on my watch list. I could share short the reason why I had X on my watch list, because very important, I select stocks in play because I'm looking for that trend. I'm looking to avoid choppy price action, and therefore I'm looking in the pre-market price for stocks that might gonna trend that day. Well, X, like it gapped up. We see like something of a continuation setup in the pre-market. On the daily chart. On the pre-market, in the post-market, we already saw some strength, right? The post-market here, I'm not sure if I'm going too fast for you, Brent, but we see the post-market, we see a move up. Pre-market, we see a move up. So I thought perhaps, who knows, X is going to trade well today. Well, market opens. We see a move up. We see a move down. We see, if we're trying to understand the price action, right? Instead of looking at the candles, we just the price action moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up, moving down, moving up. It's just choppy. It's going really nowhere. Here, something of a trend starts to happen, but we also see like small candles and big candles mixed. I think, and I'm going to show you now also example of a beautiful trend. You want to avoid price action has a lot of overlap, right? Because if there's overlap, it means that the price action is just moving up and down, right? Because if a candle has overlap, let's say first candle opens and closes higher, and the second candle opens and closes lower again, there's a lot of overlap, right? The candle trades within the range of the previous candle, and that just means that the price action is going up and going down. So when we're trying to avoid price action, we're looking to avoid overlap. At the same time, we're looking to avoid small candles and big candles mixed with each other. Because if you get like a small candle and then you get a big candle and then nothing's happening and then you see a big candle again, it just means there's no groups of people trying to get in and get out. It's just not consistent. So we're looking to avoid overlap. We're looking to avoid small candles, big candles. Of course, we're also looking to avoid gaps, right? Because if a candle opens and closes and then there's a gap between the new open, it means there was no liquidity there, and that's also very untrustworthy. So if we look at a few examples, here we see, for example, Tesla. Well, Tesla opened, came down. Yes, we formed a range here. I think it was okay. Then we moved up, we came down. And here we see like a lot of overlap, right? We don't see really a trend. Price coming down, coming up, coming down. A lot of overlap in the candles. It's not really nice. I also had VFC. I was not really looking to trade it today, but here we see perhaps something interesting. Market opens, we move up, then we move down, and here we see like a lot of overlap again, right? It's not looking good. We're moving up again, and here perhaps something of a trend starting, right? You see like candle opening, closing at the low, opening, closing at the low, third candle opening, closing at the low, opening, closing at the low. It's really forming a trend, right? Increasing volume. Here we see a small consolidation, not even a pullback, and we see increasing volume on the way down. So perhaps this could have been considered like a trend, also considering the fact that we're at this time also broke below the opening range, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or like the 50-minute opening range, we broke below it. And also, of course, on the daily chart, as you can see, we had a gap up, so we could sell off. So perhaps this could be considered a little bit of a trend. Personally, I'm a little bit careful when I trade stock like VFC, so I did not trade it. But let's take a look at some very beautiful trends, right? Because if you're looking at price action that's very choppy, we also want to see some good examples. And I'll show you examples of yesterday. I hope it's loading up. You can share it with the viewers, Brent. So here we see something in Intel that looks like a trend, right? Price action opens. Yes, we broke below. It looked more or less choppy. And here the trend starts moving up, range moving sideways, breaking out, pullback, lower volume. And here the candles start to really open, close higher, open, close higher, open, close higher. We see a small pullback and we're breaking out again. So basically here from 10 a.m. we see something starting like a trend, and then here there could have been a potential entry, but it's not really about the entry, why it should be a good entry, but it's more about understanding the difference between trending price action and choppy price action. Here another example also of yesterday. Here we see Airbnb. Well, yes, we see a little bit of overlap, right? And it's never always black and white. So therefore, trading is really a skill. We see, yes, we see a move up, we see a pullback, we see the bottom holding, and we see another trend forming. This really looks more like a trend, right? Each candle making higher lows, so each low is higher than the previous one, until we form like a small range, and then again we're forming higher lows and also on the top side higher highs. We're forming a range pullback and we're moving further. So let's take a look at another example of a potential. Or for example, this one. This was last week in DAL, Delta Airlines. And if you look at the 1 minute chart, I hope it's not too small. You see the market opens 9:30, price action moves down. We see small consolidation, small candles, and we see another trend, right? Each candle opening, closing low, opening, closing at the low, increasing volume, small consolidation, and we move further. So this is really what the trend looks like, right? And if you compare this, which is a beautiful trend, which is a clear imbalance, working out. If we're comparing that with the SPY, then this really looks like choppy price action, right? We see like wicks on the top side, we see wicks on the bottom side, we see like a lot of overlap, we see no movement. It's just price action. Like if it now moves up or down, it seems to be completely random. I could speak for another hour on this topic, but I think this is the most important parts of
Sorry, wrong button.
the
Yeah, it'd be a good time to take some questions.
yes.
I think there are some questions in the BBT chat room, and then YouTube. If you want to ask your questions, I'll let you know when they're ready. So, Lenny, we got some in BBT chat. Can you see those, or do you want me to read them?
I cannot see them. I closed the chat room.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so here we go. Let's do IG. But we can only judge this after the fact, after the candles. Okay, how can we predict good price action ahead of time? Is what IG is asking.
Well, as always, because trading, we're looking to read and anticipate human behavior, right? Because of course, a lot of it's algorithm, but also the algorithms are programmed by humans. So reading human behavior, and in human behavior, it's always the best predictor for future behavior is past behavior. So if we're seeing like a trend for like nice price action for 10 candles in a row, the chances are higher that they're going to be more trending price action afterwards. So simply, the better the price action at that moment, the most recent price action, the best predictor there is for further good looking price action. So basically, you're looking at the most recent price action to determine is this choppy or is this very good looking trending price action, in case you're looking to trade a trend.
Okay, I got another question for you. How can you tell it's going to be a choppy day before the market opens?
Well, you cannot know, right? At least, yeah, you could place a bet on it. Perhaps you could do something with options if you could predict it. Sometimes, for example, in the case of today, well, it's clear that the market is waiting for the Fed decision this afternoon. So that could be like a predictor of choppy price action. That's one thing. So perhaps you could take a look at some fundamental aspects of market conditions. Another thing is, of course, having a catalyst or not, and having volume in the pre-market. If a stock has a lot of volume in the pre-market and there's already like a lot of volatility in the pre-market, and the price action trading independent from the rest of the market in the pre-market in that particular stock. So there's the volume, there's the volatility, there's the catalyst, there's the independent pre-market price action. Then also the chances are higher that the price action might going to have a trend that day, and that's also the goal of finding stocks in the pre-market price action to select stocks in play that might gonna move after the market open. That's the goal of preparation, right? Finding stocks in play that might gonna give good price action.
Great. I got a few questions on YouTube. So,
Yes.
what's your favorite indicator to use when telling if there's choppy price action?
There's not one favorite. I think like trading, reading price action is combining a lot of factors, a lot of variables together, and it's really about everything together. Like if a lot of variables are coming together, which are really looking good, then you get very beautiful price action. But usually, price action is a little bit in the gray, right? It's like some good aspects, some things looking very good, some things looking a little bit bad, and then you got to make the judgment. And I'm a trader. I really try to look for the perfect price action, the perfect setups. So therefore, I'm also not making too many trades. So I don't really have a perfect predictor. It's really about the combination of everything together.
Okay, I got one more question from YouTube. Do
Yeah.
you look at the 52-week high or the 52-week low when you're trading stocks? Does that help you in any way to help pick the stocks you're looking at?
It's definitely part of the whole equation, but usually the price action not always trading at the 52-week high or low. So usually in I think 99 out of 100 times it won't be very relevant because the price action is not at the 52-week high or low. Uh, but it's definitely something to consider, right? If the price action is really trading at the high of the year or breaking out of the high of the year or rejecting the high of the year, but which is also the last 52 week, uh, then that's relevant. So it should be part of the equation.
Great. Thank you so much, Lenny. I think that's it for questions. So if you want to wrap it up.
No, for me, it's. I think we discussed an important topic today. If you find it interesting, I definitely recommend to take a look at my course on opening range break trading on tradingterminal.com. I also go extensively in go deeper in this topic. And I hope that you find it interesting what we discussed today. Trade very responsible and enjoy trading and enjoy the rate decision and the price action that will follow this afternoon if you're able to take a look at it.
Yeah, we're going to be back live on YouTube and in the chat room at 1:45, and joining us will be Peter, John, Mike, and Brian. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
That's going to be awesome.
Okay, thank
All
you
right.
so much. Have a great day, Lenny.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.